A family wagon with a trunk big enough for a full drum set, a family Mustang that vanished from the face of the earth, and a Cadillac family wagon that cost more to build in 1955 than a house in the Hollywood Hills. America made some of the wildest, rarest, and strangest family wagons in all of automotive history, and almost nobody remembers they existed. Some had fewer than 5 units produced. Others were never sold to the public. Several just disappeared, and the people who built them spent decades searching for them. These are 8 American family wagons so rare that you didn't know they existed. Number 8. The 1972 AMC Hornet Sportabout Gucci. Yeah, you read that right. Gucci on an AMC. In the early 1970s, American Motors was the little underdog in Detroit. They built economy cars out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, and they couldn't compete with General Motors in comfort, power, or luxury. So they tried something nobody had done before. They called up the Italian fashion house Gucci directly and asked them to design the interior of a car. The result was the Hornet Gucci Sportabout, a compact family wagon with upholstery designed by Gucci, featuring the iconic red and green stripe, emblems with the Italian house's logo on the door panels, and exterior badges that announced to the world you were driving a piece of Italian fashion on American wheels. AMC promoted it as something that wasn't so much a family wagon as a sports car with cargo space. They even built a special version with a 304 cubic inch V8 engine and full leather interior for Dr. Aldo Gucci personally. Here's the ironic part. In 1972, almost nobody in America knew what Gucci was. These were economy cars bought by people who needed something cheap and practical. Most were driven into the ground and scrapped. Very few survive today with the original Gucci interior intact, because the headliner fabric and trim are basically impossible to replace. A clean 1972 example sold at Bring a Trailer in August 2023 for $25,000, an absolute record for any AMC Hornet. The success of the Gucci collaboration led AMC down a weird path of partnerships with fashion designers. Javelins signed by Pierre Cardin, Matadors with the Oleg Cassini name. None had the same absurd and memorable charm as the Sportabout Gucci, which remains the most unlikely collision between Italian high fashion and economy engineering from Kenosha, Wisconsin, that anyone ever put on 4 wheels. But if you think a family wagon with Gucci branding is rare, wait until you see the production numbers for the next one. Number 7. The 2008 Dodge Magnum SRT8. When Dodge launched the Magnum in 2005, it was a serious attempt to bring the rear-wheel drive American family wagon back to the market. The regular Magnum was a solid family hauler, but the SRT8 version was something completely different. Under those functional hood scoops lived a 6.1-liter Hemi engine that made 425 horsepower, sent through a 5-speed automatic transmission derived from Mercedes straight to the rear wheels. This family wagon did 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 5 seconds and ran the quarter mile in around 13. Its wheelbase was actually longer than a contemporary Cadillac Escalade, and then Chrysler killed it. The 2008 financial crisis forced a complete restructuring, and the entire Magnum line was discontinued. That final model year produced only 239 units of the SRT8. Wanted in steel blue, just 29 were made. Tour red, barely 50 units. The Magnum SRT8 became the last full-size rear-wheel drive American family wagon ever produced, and Hagerty put it on their 2025 bull market list, calling it rarer than many exotic cars. Clean examples sell today between $25,000 and $45,000, and the price keeps going up. The production numbers were confirmed directly by Ralph Gill, then Chrysler's vice president of design, which gives you an idea of how closely this car's legacy is tracked by the people who built it. This is the last of an endangered species, and the market is finally waking up to the fact that nothing will ever replace it. Speaking of endangered species, the next family wagon takes rarity to a completely different level. Number 6, the 1960 and 1961 Dodge Polara top family wagon. Imagine a family wagon where every window rolls down completely and there's not a single pillar between them. Open-air cruising in a 9-passenger family hauler. That's exactly what Dodge built during the height of the space age. Designed by the legendary stylist Virgil Exner as part of his forward-look philosophy, The Polara featured pillarless construction, rear fins that soared skyward with taillights inspired by jet engines, a transparent speedometer, a steering wheel with lucite and metal flakes, and a torque flight automatic transmission controlled by push buttons on the dash. Under the hood, a 383 cubic inch V8 making 325 horsepower. In 1960, Dodge built 1,768 nine-passenger family wagons. For 1961, Dodge sales collapsed 53% across the brand. The company fell from 6th to 9th place in the industry, and only 419 units left the factory, making it one of the lowest production family wagons in all of post-war American history. It's believed that just 5 units survived from the 1960 model year, and here's a twist nobody would have predicted. Most of the known survivors were collected by Swedish Mopar enthusiasts, where a small but passionate community has kept these space-age family wagons alive thousands of miles from where they were built. A surviving example was offered at Gooding & Company with an estimate of $40,000 to $50,000. But the Polara was rare by accident. The next car was rare on purpose. Number 5, the 1973 Chevrolet Malibu SS 454 family wagon. For exactly 1 year, and only 1 year, Chevrolet let you order a family wagon with the legendary Super Sport badge and a 454 cubic inch big block V8 under the hood. The 1973 Malibu family wagon could be equipped with the Z15 Super Sport package and the LS 454 engine, making 240 horsepower and nearly 400 pound-feet of torque. You could even order it with a 4-speed manual transmission, though almost nobody did. The new Colonnade body style had just replaced the classic A body, and the design was polarizing, with huge bumpers, angular lines, and emissions equipment already choking the muscle car era. Of the approximately 59,963-seat Malibu family wagons Chevrolet built that year, around 1,432 got the SS package, and only 71 of those had the 454. 71 cars in total. That's it. The oil crisis was looming. Insurance premiums for big engines were skyrocketing, and the idea of a muscle car family wagon was as countercultural as it could be. Some Chevrolet historians still debate whether the 71 were truly factory-produced or if some were dealer-installed combinations, which only adds more mystery. Automotive writer Aaron Severson called it the ultimate speed secret dad wagon, and he wasn't wrong. A 454 SS family wagon sold at Bring a Trailer in 2021 for just $21,000, and Mecum sold another in 2023 for $23,000. For something so rare, those prices are almost a steal. Now, if you thought a factory muscle car family wagon was extraordinary, the next entry is on a completely different planet. Number 4, the 1955 and 1956 Cadillac Broadmoor Skyview by Hess and Eisenhart. Cadillac never built a factory family wagon, not once in the entire history of the brand. But in the mid-1950s, a coach builder named Hess and Eisenhart, the same company that built armored limousines for the President of the United States, decided to make one anyway. Working on Cadillac Series 62 chassis, they fabricated complete family wagon bodies using commercial floor pans and hoods, Fleetwood doors, chrome window pillars, and in a clever engineering trick, the tailgate glass from a Chevrolet Nomad. Most featured fiberglass side panels with faux wood grain and seated 8 passengers in 3 rows. Each one was finished in a different color, truly one of a kind in every way. They built 11 in 1955 and 7 in 1956. That's about 18 cars in total. Each one cost about $15,000 to produce, which in today's money is around $893,000 for a family wagon. The list of original owners reads like the Hollywood premiere of the 1950s. Dean Martin had one, so did Clark Gable, Burt Lancaster, Debbie Reynolds, the boxer Joe Louis. These were the most expensive family wagons ever built up to that point, owned by people whose names defined an entire era of American entertainment. About 7 units are known to survive today. Values range from $50,000 to over $300,000. The vast majority of Cadillac enthusiasts have never even heard of them. That level of rarity is hard to beat, but the next one does it. Number 3, the 1972 Indianapolis 500 Hearst / Olds piece of car family wagons. After the catastrophic 1971 Indianapolis 500, where a Dodge Challenger pace car hit a photographer's stand, not a single automaker in Detroit was willing to sponsor a pace car in 1972. So, Hearst Performance stepped in with an Oldsmobile Cutlass convertible, becoming the only time in history that an independent manufacturer, not an automaker, paced the Indy 500. Alongside the approximately 630 Hearst Coupe production cars built that year, Hearst made exactly 4 family wagons for track duty. 1 Vista Cruiser was assigned to the race's medical director. 3 Cutlass family wagons went to the press, the track's official photographer, and Hearst representatives. They featured 455 cubic inch V8 engines, cameo white paint with Hearst gold decals, the distinctive fiberglass hood with dual air scoops, and the company's signature gated shifters. 4 cars never offered for sale, built exclusively for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Their current whereabouts are largely a mystery. 1 is believed to be in the GM Heritage Center. The other 3 have vanished into the kind of obscurity that drives collectors crazy. A standard 1972 Hearst/Olds sells between $30,000 and $60,000 at best. A genuine pace car family wagon, if one ever turned up, would essentially be priceless. Greenlight Collectibles made a 1/64 scale model of the medical director's Vista Cruiser, which means more people own a toy version than have seen the real car in their entire lives. But there's a car on this list that's even rarer than a 4-unit run. The next one is a one-off. Number 2, the 1965 Ford Mustang Shooting Brake by Intermechanica. In 1965, an advertising executive named Barney Clark from the J. Walter Thompson Agency, which happened to be Ford's own ad agency, teamed up with car and driver designer Robert Cumberford and enthusiast Jim Licata. They bought a 1965 Mustang notchback with a 289 cubic inch V8 engine and shipped it across the Atlantic to coach builder Carrozzeria Intermeccanica in Turin, Italy. Italian craftsmen fabricated a new rear roof section with a lower hinged tailgate, a fully retractable rear window, and fold-flat rear seats. The result was a stunningly elegant family wagon that, let's be honest, looked better than the original Mustang. It made the cover of the October 1966 issue of Car and Driver, and the automotive press praised it as the car Ford should have been building all along. The plan was simple. Show it to Ford executives and convince them to authorize production. Ford said no. The trio approached Holman Moody, the legendary racing outfit. They turned it down too. They tried the old Studebaker plant in South Bend, Indiana. Rejected again. The dream of a production Mustang family wagon died right there in a series of boardroom rejections. The original car was repainted several times, passed through different hands, changing from white to red to metallic green before simply vanishing. Jim Licata searched for it for the rest of his life. He never found it. Somewhere, possibly in a barn on the East Coast, possibly destroyed, sits the only Mustang family wagon ever built, the greatest Ford that Ford never made. And finally, number 1, the 2011 to 2014 Cadillac CTS-V family wagon with 6-speed manual transmission. If every other car on this list represents what America lost, this one represents what America almost never had in the first place. The CTS-V family wagon packed a supercharged X-Spot 6.2-liter LSAV8, the same engine family that powered the Corvette ZR1, making 556 horsepower and 551 pound-feet of torque. And Cadillac offered it with a 6-speed manual transmission in a family wagon, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds, top speed over 185 miles per hour, magnetic ride control suspension, Brembo brakes, optional Recaro seats, and 58 cubic feet of cargo space to haul groceries home after humiliating a Porsche on a back road. Cadillac built about 1,767 CTS-V family wagons in total. Only 514 of those came with the manual transmission. That's fewer than Ferrari produces in a single year. Enthusiast forums have meticulously tracked every manual family wagon by vehicle identification number, color, and options, treating them like the automotive artifacts they are. The highest auction sale on record was $81,000 for a 2012 manual wagon at Bring a Trailer in August 2022, almost double what it costs new. Manual wagons regularly trade between $60,000 and $80,000, and the trajectory points in one direction only. Petrolicious once called them rarer than mountain gorillas. And unlike every other family wagon on this list, this is one you can still find, still drive, and still experience. You can drop your kids off at school, hit a track day, and stop for groceries on the way home, all in a car that would embarrass a M5 in a straight line. It's the last great high-performance American family wagon, and the market knows it. Here's the truth about these 8 cars. The family wagon was always the vehicle America needed, but was embarrassed to brag about. For decades, family wagons were labeled as suburban, unstylish, the opposite of everything a car enthusiast was supposed to care about. Meanwhile, the manufacturers were building some of the most extraordinary versions imaginable, and almost nobody noticed. The funny thing is, the family wagon never really died. It just changed its name. Look at a Kia EV6 in profile, or a Polestar 3, or a Honda Prologue. The EPA classifies the Kia EV6 as a small family wagon, but no manufacturer would dare call them that, because the term family wagon is still poison for marketing. The shape was too practical to kill, but the name was too uncool to keep. The collector market did notice. A Nomad from 1956 just set a record at $141,000. Haggerty is pointing to family wagons as a rising category. The CTS-V manual wagon has appreciated faster than most supercars, and somewhere, the only Mustang family wagon is waiting to be found. If you want more deep stories about the car's history forgot, the next video is on screen right now.